How long will it take to get to 10% body fat and see your abs? Getting to finally see your six-pack can take time, and there's a fast way and a slow way. The answer will be different for each and every single person depending on two main factors. Number one is your starting body fat percentage, and the second is how well developed your abs are. I have good news for you. Getting abs is a lot easier than what you've been led to believe. It can be guaranteed. If you follow the process I'm going to lay out for you in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how long it will take to get to 10% body fat and what you need to do. I'll even take it a step further, and I'll use real life examples of my clients that I've worked with and how long it takes for them and see if the science agrees. Today, we have Tyrell, Nicholas, Tori, and JL. Step 1 is figuring out what their starting body fat percentage is, and we'll use a simple eye test. Comparing this chart provided versus the photos of my client's starting positions. So, starting positions according to this graph. Tyrell is falling between 25 to 30%, so I'll give him the lower spectrum of 27% body fat between the two numbers. Tori's pictures fall closer to 30%. Nicholas, as you can see, has his 2-pack and he's between 25 and 30% body fat, but on the higher end, putting him at 28% according to my eye test. Finally, JL at 40% body fat. So let's start with how long it will take for you to see your six-pack with a slow route, and later in the video I'll explain how to go about the fast route. The following chart breaks it down. This chart assumes an average of just 1 pound of fat loss per week, and I'll give you an accurate estimate of how long it will take for you to see a six-pack. The upper limit of the recommended rate of weight loss is 2 pounds, which would give you half the time. Here's how to use it. Locate the column on the vertical division at the top with your current body fat percentage. If you're a woman, follow the column down until you hit an orange cell, and if you're a man, follow it down until you hit the yellow cell. Trace that row, the horizontal division, to the left-hand margin and look at its number and approximately how many weeks it will take to get your six-pack abs. With that said, Tyrell, starting at 27% body fat, will take 36 weeks. Tori will approximately take 43 weeks, and Nicholas at 28% will take approximately 38 weeks. You can use this chart to figure out how long it will take you, but let me share my personal and special fast method of figuring out how long it will take me and my clients to get to 10%. But before we go through this, let me give you a brief history on my own journey. There are two pathways to getting your six-pack. Number one is with hope, and that working hard alone will reward you with this elusive six-pack, which is what happened to me in 2016. Or two, you have a science-backed approach, and it's a direct pathway and a speedy pathway to a strong and visible core. Stick to the end of the video and I'll direct you to the simple step-by-step guide to getting your six-pack. So let me explain. In 2016, when I created my first diet and training plan called Project Diamonds, it took me 22 weeks. A study published by the University of Columbia concluded that these findings provided a tool for investigators and clinical dietitians to predict the rate of weight loss that can be expected within a population. Given the age and initial body weight frequency of dietary counseling and energy deficit prescription, once I adjusted and applied these things in 2017 with the improved knowledge, I was able to complete this transformation in 13 weeks, nearly half the time required to lose all that weight. In 2018, I saw similar results in the same time, but couldn't improve on the research with lowering that body fat percentage. In 2019, that was nothing short of perfect. It was the peak of my research and understanding of fat loss, taking into account human behavior and mitigating the different circumstances. This took me exactly 16 weeks, and here you can notice my initial body fat percentage was much lower compared to the previous years and the first time that I reached sub 10% body fat, something I was never able to accomplish until 2022. I perfected my ability to reach this level of condition. Now putting more focus on maintaining and building more muscle tissue at this level, I'll be sharing with you exactly how I did it. But I have some good news for you. Getting abs is really a lot easier than what people lead you to believe. You don't need to completely cut out complete food groups like pasta or bread, or choke down a handful of fat burners every day, or do hours of core and cardio. But before we dive in, it will be important to know how many calories you need to eat to lose that body fat percentage. So this is what I want you to do. Comment down below your age, your weight, your height, your gender, your body fat percentage according to this chart, and how many times you want to train, and I'll recommend the best calories and macros for you. I'll help you figure out your calories and macros for the next 24 hours. All I ask in return is a gentle thumbs up. Let's kick it off with step 1. How long will it take to see your six-pack? The analogy I like using, if you don't have a concrete plan, it's like driving blindfolded. Two things are likely to happen. Number 1, you never reach your destination, or it takes you 10 times longer. Number 2, you run out of gas, which is what happens with most people. So step number 1, you're gonna figure out exactly where you are. So what I want you to do is take a photo and compare it against these photos that you're seeing right now on the screen. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I believe I'm falling anywhere between 25 to 30% body fat in my initial picture. At this picture, I was 200 pounds. Now I'm gonna take a happy medium, and from my eye test and my own personal experience, I believe it's 27%. Let me know in the comments down below what you got, and I'll help you out in terms of figuring out the numbers. Number 2, after you determine where you currently are, we need to figure out where you want to go. Science has shown in general, for individuals to see their full six-pack, you need to get between 12% body fat to 15%. So if I'm at 27% body fat at the moment, I want to get to 12%, that's 15% body fat that I need to drop to finally be able to see my full six-pack. So you need to lose 15% overall. The second thing we need to figure out in the beginning is the rate of weight loss and the route, and how fast we want to get there and in which position. Now we're gonna figure out how to go about it the fast way, which will be 1% of your total body weight per week. So in this case, if you lose 1% per week, it's gonna take you 15 weeks to finally be able to see your six-pack. With the same logic, it will take Tyrell 17 weeks to get to 10%, Tori 20 weeks to get to 10%, Nicholas 18 weeks, and JL 30 weeks at the fast rate. Remember, these are estimations, but according to the work that I've done with them, it was pretty accurate. The second step is figuring out your nutrition, and I'm going to give you a very easy way to figure this out. But I know a lot of people are unsure. There's so much noise online. You've watched hundreds of YouTube videos, and you don't know if you're finally going to have the right diet for you to see these results. I do this exactly for my clients. I build out their entire plan start to finish with the food they love and enjoy so that they can do it for the rest of their life. The same goes with training. It's designed according to their physiques, especially taking into account being able to see the six-pack fully, and for them to get their desired result in what they want. We jump on a weekly Zoom call, we speak 24/7 over WhatsApp. This way, I make sure that anyone who works with me sees the best results possible. People I usually work with are busy professionals. They don't have the time to watch all these videos, and I do the heavy lifting for them. If that's you, if you need anyone, a coach who's a doctor, who understands the body fundamentally, if you want to work personally with me, all you need to do is go into the description of this video, fill out the application form to the best of your ability, and I'll get on the phone with you and we'll speak about your goals. We'll get to working together and figure out what the next step is. The second thing we need to do is focus in on your nutrition. As I've said in many videos, it's really going to be able to dictate your ability to gain muscle and to lose fat, or gain fat and lose muscle. And if you've stuck with me thus far, it means you're pretty serious about your results. For the next 24 hours, I'll help everyone figure out their macros in the comments. So all you need to do, give me your age, weight, height, and your gender, your current body fat percentage, and how many times you want to train, and I'll recommend the best macros for you. The next step is to download an app like MyFitnessPal or Lose It. It's going to be the simplest way to do it, and this way is going to give you the results. So after you've downloaded the app, insert the correct information. It's going to ask you the rate of weight loss you want, and you'll likely decide if you want to lose 1% or 0.5% between the 2 pounds and 1 pound per week. And now it's going to give you your total calories. But this is what I would recommend with choosing your particular macros. Please listen closely because this is going to help you tremendously. Our main goal is not to just lose weight, it's to lose fat. I highly recommend you choose 1 pound per week. It's very tempting to want to choose 2 pounds per week because you want to get to your goal quicker. In my own experience, individuals tend to have a lot of repercussions with having an aggressive caloric deficit. I highly recommend 1 pound per week. Awesome, and that's based on the data, and it's gonna give me 2,280 calories, and that's going to put me into caloric deficit. We've figured it out. Now we want to figure out what our perfect macros are, and I'll go through my process with you in terms of setting up the best macros, and you can do exactly the same. So in general, my general rule is I like to eat more protein than 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if I'm 175 pounds, I want to eat between 175 and slightly above that to be able to maintain or even build muscle mass. Let's say 200 grams. That's about 35%, and I'm okay with that. And typically when I choose fat, which is the next parameter, I like to choose between 20 and 30% of my total calories. So I'm going to bring that down to 20, and that gives me 51 grams of fat, and I'm happy with that. I just need to balance things out, and we're going to reduce carbohydrates from 50 to 40%, and you're going to click check, and that's perfect. You'll see what your goal is to be able to get as close to 200 grams of protein as possible, get as close to 257 grams of carbs, and 51 grams of fat. In my experience, the individuals who hit these numbers the closest are the ones who tend to see more detail in their body. Personally, I like going for 1.3 grams of protein per pound of body weight. For your sake, and to make this easy, I would say go for that 1 gram per pound of body weight, and you can increase that. So I'm 200 pounds, so I'll be eating 200 grams of protein. If you're 157 pounds, you should be eating 157 grams of protein, so put that in your protein intake. For your fats in general, at the lower end, I use 20%. I go no lower than that. So if your total calories, allocate 20% to your fats and the rest towards your carbs. You need to consistently follow these macros that I've just calculated for at least 2 weeks and see what results you get. Did your weight increase? Did it decrease? Compare the two photos, and if no changes, I would say slightly decrease your carbohydrate intake by 25 grams, which is equivalent to 100 calories, until you achieve the rate of weight loss you desire. And do this consistently. Don't be in a rush. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And you can always find me in the comments if you need assistance. Now, we figured out the diet, but now how do we make sure we reveal that six-pack? That's gonna be through the diet, but to build it, these are the exercises I highly recommend. I've done them myself for close to 9 years. I've been consistent and successful with them myself and with all my clients. Exercise number 1 is gonna be focused on creating some spinal curvature and contracting your rectus abdominis as much as possible. If you're a beginner, a gentle crunch is fantastic. I want you to exhale to get a maximum crunch from your rectus abdominis. If you're an intermediate, adding some weight for resistance to hypertrophy the six-pack is the way to go with a rep range of 10 to 20. Now, if you're advanced with your rectus abdominis, I love a cable crunch because it allows you to overload the muscle, and what you need to do is focus in on your spinal curvature and contracting your abs as much as possible. You don't have to do anything crazy. The second exercise that I do enjoy that helps develop the six-pack is any form of spinal curvature from the bottom, which is like a hanging leg raise. This is for a beginner. If you're an intermediate, a knee raise, which is slightly more tough for you by increasing the weight. And if you're an expert, a fully extended leg raise is going to be fantastic for developing the V-line. Those two exercises alone are fantastic for developing the core, giving it that thickness so you can see more of your abs at a higher body fat percentage. In the future, I would say do this at least every 2 days. Finally, what we need to do is figure out as well as the rectus abdominis. You want to be able to develop those finger-like muscles on either side of your six-pack. In this event, twisting actions are fantastic for the obliques. If you're a beginner, the Russian twist. If you're an intermediate, using a weight, performing a Russian twist. And if you're an expert, cable wood choppers are phenomenal. With that being said, that is the direct guide for you to figure out how to get your six-pack and to get to 10%. It's not that complicated, but what it is going to require is your consistency, and I do this with my clients. I take all the pressure off of their shoulders and I figure it out for them. We check in with each other once a week over WhatsApp. We have a weekly Zoom call. This way, whenever they have to overcome a hurdle, they have me there to intervene. If you're an individual who's been trying for years and has never seen their six-pack and you want a direct path to your results finally, I typically work with busy professionals. If you're a success-minded individual, then I highly recommend go into the description of this video, fill out the application form to the best of your ability, and we'll get in contact and we'll be able to finally get your results, and I guarantee that to each and every single person who works with me. But with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, hit it with a gentle thumbs up. Don't forget, just comment down below the information so I can give you calories and macros. These two videos here are incredible, so you get a better idea of what you should be eating once you figured out your macros. And drop down in the comments below all the information necessary. Let me know if you guys did enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.